Welcome to the Champions of Life podcast, where three orange-blooded Tennessee alums discuss how there's always next year.
Hey, welcome back to the Champions of Life podcast. It's Lainey, and today, actually, there is no Joe and there is no Bobby. They are with us in spirit, but not with us in the room. We have Parker Jackson. He is one of our warehouse associates in Knoxville. And then Casey Roth. She is at our corporate office. She does a ton of things, and she's going to be the guest MC today. So, Casey, what do you have for us?
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here, excited to be talking about the latest recap of some UT sports and to also get to be talking to Parker today. So, as in custom Champions of Life fashion, let's hear it, Lainey and Parker. What are the recent things we need to discuss?
Oh, there's so many, right, Parker? Okay, so the last one we did, Bobby was headed to the Texas A&M game.
Yep.
Which that was a little rough.
It was unfortunate.
Were you there?
I was not there.
Okay.
I opted not to go.
Okay.
I've lost a little bit of my faith in UT sports, but I've been going to a few of the other games. I was watching the bowl game. I can't say I'm not happy that Max Gilbert's gone. I think it's a little unfortunate for him. I do feel bad for him. I saw him at El Mez a few days before the game. He was just like eating, and I forget that he's just like a real person. He's like a normal guy. I feel bad for him because, I mean, there's been multiple moments in the season, like the Georgia game and that game, which is like come down to clutch moments, and we missed the kicks. But
yes, it is sad. And so, did we say you are a current UT student? So
yes,
what year
I'm currently
are you?
a junior at Knoxville. I'm studying supply chain.
Okay, supply chain. Yeah, so we followed up the A&M game with the horrific loss to Kentucky. Were you there?
Yeah, I was not there.
Okay.
I was in Colorado for that game. I was watching at the airport. I missed the Florida game as well, but I watched both of those online. The Florida game, that one you kind of knew was over before it was over, but the Kentucky game went down to the last second, and it was unfortunate. But
yeah, I told Joe and Bobby yesterday, we had a debrief about just where we are with Tennessee sports, and I said, I finished the weekend. I didn't watch the Vanderbilt game. They lost, but they're ranked, 10th.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are this week, but it was just a sobering feeling of 2026 is the year that Vanderbilt football and basketball finishes ahead of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And you're a good bit younger. I don't even know, you don't understand how difficult it is for me to say that and to come to grips with that reality.
I mean,
but it's
in the
rough.
little time that I've been at Tennessee, you just always know Vanderbilt's like the little brother, and I just feel like the fact that they're kind of trumping over us this year it's very hard to watch.
Yeah.
But especially with Diego Pavia, he was very, very proud. But
he's going to own the state, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, so Tennessee is not doing so good right now.
And baseball's coming up. Maybe
baseball. Yes. We've always got baseball.
Yep.
We'll see what happens
They're
there.
doing some reconstruction on the stadium, I believe.
Yes.
I think they're adding some additions, so hopefully that'll be good.
The stadium will be done. Yeah. Hopefully. Tony V. It's not going to be the same. But
I can't blame him. I mean, that's a great offer. I think he's the first college coach ever to move to the big leagues. So, as much as I hate to see him go, I think what's the new guy's name? I forget his name. He's going to be good though. He was the
he's
the
third
assistant
base
coach. Yeah.
third base coach.
I don't know, I'm blanking on his name. I can picture him right now. But,
same. Yeah. We talked about it before
Yeah.
On the podcast. I know Joe and Bobby we're hopeful. So we'll see.
I am as well.
Okay. So let's get into why Parker is here today.
Parker, do you want to recap just a little more briefly? Just tell us about yourself, what you're studying at UT, and tell us too, how are you on this podcast? How'd you get to know R&S? Tell us a little bit about that.
So, I am currently a junior studying supply chain management with a collateral and information management. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I came to UT because my grandfather lives in Oak Ridge, so I figured I'd just tour, and then I came here and I loved it, and I came here undecided, and then I ended up switching to supply chain after I took a class in sophomore year. And so I went to a career fair sophomore year. I wasn't really too hopeful about it. I printed out about 7 resumes. I just know it's like a lucky number from the Bible for me. I'll just print out 7 resumes, just go for it. And so I showed up to the career fair with 7 resumes. I turned my first 6 in. I had 1 more left, and I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to find somewhere to go turn that resume in. And then I see the bright red R&S stand, and I figure I'd just go up there and talk to them. And so I go up and I talked to, I think it was Tristan, maybe Joe was there as well. And so I turned my 7th resume in there. I started talking to them. I found out it's a Christian warehousing company Like they're like super close to campus, like 5 minutes away from campus, and I lived on campus. And so I was like, it's a great opportunity. And so I went and I initially interviewed for the internship as a sophomore, and I wasn't really thinking to get it. Ended up not getting the internship. I think I took one person that summer. And then I worked at a summer camp, and I got a call from Tristan about a third of the way through the summer, and he asked me if I would like to come work as a warehouse associate, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity, just like 5 minutes off campus, great to work at during the semester, and now I'm here. But yeah.
Wow, really?
That's
we
so
were the
awesome.
seventh?
Yep. Yeah, y'all were the 7th.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Yep. It's
I
just
didn't
like
know
one of
that.
those like God things. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna. I was like, maybe I'll do 5. Like, no, I'll just do 7. Might as well. And then I had a list of like 5 I wanted to go to, so I went to 5 and then one more, and I was like, I just got to do the 7th, and I went to R&S, and then now I work there, and it's
We're
been
lucky
great.
that we got to be the
I
seventh.
love it so far. It's been, I guess, 6 months by now, but yeah, I've loved it so far, and then now I'm here to talk sports and also talk about the class we're doing next semester on campus.
Well, and do you mind me asking, for those who maybe don't know what a warehouse associate is or
Yeah.
what that means, especially in the 3PL world or the supply chain world, tell us a little bit about what does that mean you do at
Yeah, for sure.
R&S?
So I am picking and packing parcels and LTLs and things like that. And so I am driving what's called an order picker. It's like a stand-up forklift where the forks are on the back. That's what I drive most of the time. And so for the parcels, those are like the things that show up on your doorstep. I'm just picking those up, putting them on the shelf, and then Brian sends them out. And for the LTLs, I'm getting multiple big boxes and putting them on a pallet and then wrapping them in the industrial wrapper. And so that's what I do on a day-to-day. It's a very flexible schedule. I still have time to go to classes, things like that, and I've truly enjoyed it so far. A lot of great coworkers.
So yeah, what have been, I guess, a few of the things you've learned since like real world practical experience working in a 3PL warehouse and connecting it with your background and your major of wanting to pursue supply chain? What's
Yeah,
that?
for sure. I feel like wanting to pursue supply chain, like supply chain is everywhere in business. I feel like it's always been in the background of business, and it's really in the past 20 or 30 years. I don't even think it was a major 20 or 30 years ago, but it's starting to come to the forefront now, and it's kind of cool to see that. And I feel like if I want to pursue a career in supply chain, I feel like the warehouse is the perfect place to start because you get to see those like kind of behind the scenes workings of the warehouse. Because supply chain could be anything from manufacturing to transportation to warehousing, anything like that. Mm-hmm. And so it's good to see the warehousing aspect of it. It's good to see my collateral is information management, so it's good to see like the management systems going on behind the scenes, things like that. And yeah, I've learned a lot being like, I took the class that they're going to be doing on campus and Insight with R&S Logistics. I took that last semester. So it's cool to see that going on, like take that class while I was on the field in the R&S Logistics as well. Like it was very cool to do both of those at once, for sure.
It is.
But, yeah.
I have to ask too, because obviously this is such a core component. Because I mean, anybody could offer a 3PL class at any university. Although, of course, UT has like the number 3 globally ranked supply chain program across the nation. So that's a big deal. But then also, you know, R&S has a unique culture for sure. And I know I'd love to hear Lainey speak to this a little bit. And then I'd love to also hear Parker speak to a little bit of the culture and what that's like. Because that'll be such a core, integral part to the class.
Yeah, this has been, I didn't know the supply chain world existed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had never thought about it.
Yeah, I mean,
until,
I came into college exploratory. I was undecided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So until about a year and a half ago, I've been with R&S going on 2 years, and I had no idea like this was even a thing. But it makes so much sense now that I'm in it. It's like, well, of course this has to be an industry. Like, we need our toilet paper. But truly, like, R&S is such a special group of people. The leadership is just one of a kind. Mm-hmm. And truly, I mean, I've worked a lot. Most of my career, I've worked in the ministry world. And this has been my favorite place to work, with the healthiest leadership, around the healthiest people. And some of the funniest people, too. I mean, we laugh all day, every day. And I know at the warehouse, it's going on as well.
Yep. So,
yeah, it's just such a unique, special culture, and it's a blessing to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. I feel like even me being here has been such a God thing, and it's been incredible to get to be a part of R&S. I feel like Tristan's been such a mentor to me as well. Like, it's been great. I think I just mentioned wanting to tour one of the other locations sometime, and he set up an appointment for me to go tour one of the other locations right then and there, and that was awesome as well. And it's just been great experience, great leadership. Like, they really work well with my schedule as well. Like, they are willing to, they acknowledge that I have classes and things like that. And I've never felt stressed, like, working at R&S, things like that. Like, when am I going to have time for work and classes? Like, if I have a test the next day, if I need to miss work, like makes it interesting and very flexible with that. And it's just been an incredible work experience so far. But yeah.
That's awesome. So what do you foresee? I don't mean to take over here.
Go.
Casey. I don't want to
You're
mess up your
good.
questions. But how do you foresee this class being something that can really benefit students who maybe I guess they have to be in supply chain. They've got to be a junior or senior. But they've never really had a warehouse experience like this before. So how could it benefit them currently as a student, but then for their future careers?
Yeah, this is coming from someone who's benefited from warehouse experience like at R&S. I think that like taking that class, I took the supply chain management 413 last semester. I think taking that class like just by itself is very like interesting, but actually like learning about an LTL versus like seeing what it is like two different things. And like actually being on site, like I know for me personally, I'm a very hands-on interactive learner, and I feel like for these students, I feel like being at the warehouse, I know it was very helpful for me. While being in a supply chain 413 and being at the warehouse, I was able to put both those things together and apply those concepts I was learning in class to the warehouse, and I can see them doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's great. Joe said the same thing on the last podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
The classroom wasn't always his favorite place to be, but he loved the hands-on stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And if this had been something that was offered back then, it just would have been such a blessing.
I mean, even my, like, just working at R&S, I've learned more about logistics and supply chain than I have in, like, any of my classes so far. Like, that hands-on experience is truly invaluable.
That's great.
Yeah.
Parker, when you think about what's next, because I know you're coming up on you're I guess an upperclassman now. You're like top dog
it's
here.
Flying by.
What are you thinking next steps about just your career path and what you're gonna do?
Yeah, so this summer I'll be interning with PepsiCo in Plano, Texas. So I'm interested to see what that'll be like. They will assign me like a designated team within the supply chain realm closer to time. Right now I'm just labeled as a supply chain intern, but they could place me on the warehousing team, transportation team, something like that. But I'll be there for 10 weeks this summer. I'm very interested to see what that's like because I love the dynamic of like a smaller, more tight-knit company like R&S. So I'm very interested to see how it's going to be like going from that to like one of the biggest supply chain industries that there is. And so I'll be at the Frito-Lay headquarters in Plano for 10 weeks. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. I'm not sure if that's something I'll stick with. We'll see if I like it this summer. We will see. But I think it'll be a great experience regardless. I'm excited to see like how I can apply my experience from R&S to that and see where it takes me. But yeah.
Awesome. We're excited for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Anything else?
That's great. Do you have a favorite story or some embarrassing material on someone at K1? You don't have to name names, Parker, but anything on the way out the door that will make us chuckle. Putting you on the spot here. It's okay if not.
I have a funny story about how I met Aiden. I knew Aiden before I started working at R&S. And so Aiden and I studied abroad in Greece together. And so this was like a few months after I'd interviewed for the R&S internship before I started working at camp. So I didn't know if I was going to be working at R&S yet. So he was just like randomly my roommate on this trip. And so I'm like getting to know him, asking like what he does. Because this is a supply chain trip to Greece. And so it's all supply chain students. And he's mentioning how he is working at R&S. I'm like, oh, like that's awesome. And then I think literally the week after I left Greece is like when Tristan called me and he's, oh, do you want to come work at R&S in July? And then I gave Aiden a call. I was like, so I'm gonna be working with you now. I'll see you at work in July. It was just, I feel like there's been so many just like random God things just from like, oh, like this is leading you to R&S and all this kind of stuff. But not really a funny story, just like an interesting story how that worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. But thank y'all for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Casey, for emceeing and helping this process. So today is officially the first day of the class.
Yeah.
So when this comes out...
They'll start in a few hours from now, I think.
Well, when this comes out, it'll probably be a little after that.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely looking forward to what the next 7 weeks holds. And I think it's going to be a great thing for UT, but also for R&S. So thanks for listening. I hope you'll catch us next time on Champions of Life podcast.